welcome back to another episode of the Level Up Latino podcast.
You're listening to Diego, Otto, and Luis.
And we are Level Up Latino. Y somos los chingones.
Hey guys, like and subscribe.
April. Gotcha.
Welcome back to another episode of the Level Up Latina podcast. This is episode 285. Welcome to April. It's the first episode of April, and we are going to be talking about our strengths and playing into those as well as our personality. This episode idea comes from our recent collective where we were talking about our personalities and our strengths a little bit and talking about transition and change. And I'm really enjoying the collective. We're going into like week 4. Wow, I think it's week 4. So a lot of good stuff coming from that. So that's why we are talking about this today. But before we jump into it, how are you doing, Cecy and Vero, on this fine day?
We're good. Talking about ailments as we age. And weird stuff happening in our stomachs.
For real.
Yeah, that was last week's show. If you checked out the random show in March, the last week of March, we were talking about our aging bodies, beautiful aging bodies. It's a privilege to age, and yet you can't get away from creaky bones and thinning hair, or apparently these two have a tough time swallowing. This is PG. This is not negative. This is positive. So dirty minds. Vero's ready to go there. No, but that's not a laughing matter. These things get diagnosed, and you got to figure out these things when your body's not working the way it should, right? So that's your friendly reminder tip of the day. Get your body checked out when it's not working as it should. So remnants of the last episode, but moving into this episode and segueing a little bit into personalities and strengths. Now that we've had some time to work together and get to know each other, and as individuals, now that we've known ourselves for over 40 years, we were going to ask each other today some questions just about our strengths and our personality and how we lean into those. So we can really start anywhere, but I was going to ask both of you, like, when was the last time you were really aware or like self-aware of a strength of yours or a personality kind of attribute of yours? Was there anything recently, maybe you've had about your new job, or Cecy, as you've been growing in your role at your job, is there any time where you were, hey, this is completely my strength and my personality? Of course I would do X, Y, Z. And what was that like the last time that happened for you? And you were aware, because a lot of times we're not even aware that we're playing into our strengths and using our personality for good. But when was the last time one of you was aware?
Just recently.
Networking. I'm a good networker. And I didn't know I didn't know I was until my prior boss noticed it. I remember we had gone to like a La Raza Latino Lawyers, like, gala or whatever event a couple years ago. And, my boss at the time, she's older than me, so she's been practicing law longer than I am. But I got there and I was like talking to everybody, and I knew a lot of folks there already. And I remember she mentioned, she's like, "You're a good networker." And I was like, I guess I am. So that's a strength that I use daily. Like, I use it to connect people for the podcast. Like, I reach out to people. When we're, recruiting guests, like I don't take no for an answer. I just estoy a friegue and send messages. So that. And then I use that in my job too at the nonprofit. I'm connecting with people, tabling, or when people reach out to me like, "Hey, I have a legal question." I'm like, I might not be able to answer it for you, but maybe I could connect you with someone that can, or a lawyer that practices that area of law. So yeah, I use that daily, I would say. And even with family, when, I don't know, they have a certain issue, like my nephew, for example, is in college, and recently I put him in contact with Irene's because they were both like out of state, and so yeah, I like doing stuff like that.
That's a gift. It's a lot of what people avoid, actually, networking. That is a gift. Yes. Work with Cecy. If you are absolutely awkward and not a social butterfly, Cecy can coach you to be a really effective networker. I love, Cecy, how you pointed out that when you want a guest, you are persistent. It's one of my favorite things about you. You're a persistent networker. It's like, you said you would be on the show. You do not let people off the hook. I absolutely love that about your personality. You're relentless and you're persistent. And it more often than not pays off. I can't think of a person where we're like, oh, they weren't even worth chasing. Everybody's been worth chasing, and Cecy went on the chase. So thank you, Cecy. We benefit from that part of your personality. Y tú, Vero, you had an answer right away. You were like, I just used it the other day.
Oh my God. It's like, I surprised myself. I was like, oh, you can do that, girl. You can still do that. You got that in you. Wow. Because, it's like surprising because I'm like, I was dealing with only my kids, right, for 7 years. And going back to work has been challenging and it hasn't up to now, but it felt like this was the first time I'm back, with working actually with only like a full team of adults. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. But I'm going to say my observant, being so, I'm just observant constantly. So I have, watching my team, watching the people I work with, like I'm observing what they're doing. I could see, kind of pick up on their social cues. I can just kind of pick up on what's happening with the day, kind of picked up on understanding people's motivations with why they're doing things. So it kind of helps me just the way I approach them, right? So I'm already pretty friendly and just relatable. I made myself very relatable. So in my observations, I kind of address it that way. Hey, let's talk about, I kind of want to mention this, or I noticed that you're doing this, and break the ice that way in a very friendly yet professional way, where when I want to have them create the result on their own instead of me telling them, hey, you have to do this. Hey, I've noticed this. I have a kid. I call him a kid, but these are young emerging adults, right? They're young emerging professionals. They're trying to make it into, being a technician it takes a lot of, tact, and they have to know a lot of information, and it's a hard job. It's a career as well. It's like they're constantly learning. Cars are constantly changing technology. So there's this kid that got hired. I hired him a couple months back when I first started, and then he's like, when can I be in the shop? When can I be in the shop? So I constantly observe him to be like, how you perform here is how you know you're going to perform in the shop, and I need you to be on it. And, and it starts with this, and I just talking about it, and he's like being very receptive to it. So I think for me, it's just being so observant allows me to kind of find a way to make it find an in to what's causing this behavior, or how can I help, or what can I help you with to get you to get the results you want. So that's what I think has been really useful. And that's just one example, but it's been like time after time right now with my team, where it's been like, hey, I noticed this. What's going on? Or, hey, I noticed this. Want to try something else?
Love that. Love that you're playing to your strengths. I like that you mentioned you're so observant that then you can coach people to almost come into their own, but it's based on something you've observed. So you're like coaching them, but then it becomes their idea, grow or evolve, or inspiring them to come into their own. So that's really cool, Vero, because I do think that you do a good job of assessing and jumping in. And it sounds like coaching someone who's hungry to grow, someone who's coachable. That's a nice match. You're a coach and they're coachable. That's always a blessing when people are coachable. For me, I think the last time I was aware of a strength of mine that's somewhat part of my personality at work, I'm very good about stepping back and letting my team shine and do their thing. But when things are difficult and tough, I'm very clear that that's my job. And I'll jump in for tough meetings and tough conversations. And I'm very good at handling things head on, respectfully and with tact. We talked about it during the collective. Tact is important. Respect is important. But you can be direct with a person and honest with a person tactfully. And I've been getting a lot of love and respect from my team, actually, my staff. It's like, thank you for being there. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for saying this. One of them recently gave me the compliment that said, you're so fierce. You're so fierce when it comes to like standing up for us. And there was this issue with the building, and there was like a break-in into somebody's car, and the building was like slow to respond and didn't give me the video. I wanted to do a police report, and then it happened again. So then I was a dog with the bone. I was, what's going to happen? What are we telling our team? And then the person from the building sent this terrible email. They hadn't gotten my email. They hadn't seen me being very like, we need solutions. We need to make sure people are safe. I want my team to want to come to work. I want them to feel safe. Like, I was very team oriented. Their safety. What are we doing? What's the solution? Who are we training? What do we need to do to keep my team safe? And the person hadn't seen my email, and they wrote this terrible email that was like, y'all got to be careful. Do not leave things visible. You leave things visible in your car, they're going to get broken into. Like, super unprofessional, blaming the victim. And my whole team wasn't privy. I was blind copying my leader. So I'm also not going to be like a chismosa and have my whole staff knowing how I am or deal with high kind of stake situations. But I was copying my leaders on purpose because they're also in the office a lot. And I said, absolutely inappropriate. I do not like how you just blame the victim. And I said it, of course, with like Vero said, you got to use professional speak. But I was very much like pushed back. What? My team is not to blame for their cars being broken into. Sure, like someone left their wallet out and their money, maybe. I mean, again, I don't know those details, right? That's not what happened exactly. But still, why would the solution be like, guard your stuff better. So I like came at this person. I like copied their boss. I copied the owner of the building. I was very respectful before. By the end of the day, everybody was calling me. Everybody was feeling bad. Everyone was trying to cover their own butts. That man called me so apologetic because I was like, I've been reaching out to you guys. I have documentation. I'm concerned for my team. I think this is a matter of protecting the team. And I would never go to my staff and say, take care of your stuff. No, I want to take care of them. And it was just so forceful. And it really paid off. There was suddenly cops that now survey the area. The building owner was super respectful. They got my urgency. They got my desire to make it about the team first and their safety. But in that moment, one of my staff was like, you're so fierce. You're so fierce. When it's, wait a minute, that wasn't very respectful or fair. And what about my people? You show that you care about us and you don't care who comes at you. And I'm like, no, like you guys are a priority. And I always try to think of myself. Like if I had a boss that was just like, just hide your shit, girl. Girl, I ain't trying to get kidnapped. I don't want my stuff stolen. Like I always put myself in people's shoes. Like how would you want your boss to react? You want them to be like a mama bear. And I like that about my personality. As long as I'm tactful, like Cecy in a way, like persistent for what's fair. And no, what are we doing about my team? Who are we training? Where's the security? Where's the camera footage that I've been asking about? One of my staff was like, I heard the man say he doesn't have the password for the security footage. I'm like, ooh, I'm really coming after him now. It all settled down. It all worked out. It was very secure. But I liked that about my personality. I like that the mama bear in me comes out at work. I like that it comes out at me at home. For you too, like I would to the death level up Latina. Like we could be dysfunctional as hell inside, but in the outside world, these are my girls and nobody comes after them. I don't care what you say. I like that about me. I like that I will tell you what's on my mind. And it's hard to take shit too when you're like that, but I have to be like, okay, take it. You got to take it when you dish it. You got to take it. So that's something I'm always working on. But I like my mama bear personality. And I think I get it from my own mom. And I just had to be polished. I just had to be polished because my mom wasn't very polished and she could just be kind of rude and defensive. And sorry, mom, I'm always throwing you under the bus. You did the best you could. But I try to keep that in mind. I get really good things from her personality. I just have to execute them in a way that is for good, always for good intentions. But I'll come after you, y'all. If something's unfair, I'll come after you. All right. So with that being said, in terms of personality and strength, a little bit was just general, but in terms of dealing with your partner, because I think this is always really good advice. Now that we've all been married for some time, how have we played to our strengths and our personalities to make it work with our freaking primary partner, the person you live with every day that has an absolutely different strength likely than you? Maybe you share some similar ones, but usually we have opposite strengths and a very different personality than you. How have you made it work with your partner's personality and your personality? Because this is the person you live with every day. How have you made it work?
Girl, I've learned to shut the fuck up. I've learned to shut the fuck up. Like, keep it to yourself, Vero. Keep it to yourself. In that sense, right? Because I'm like, we can
different communication.
Yeah. Because it's hard. And it's very hard, but it's more of like, okay, there's no need to just, be snappy and just dish it out, right? But it's more of like, okay, this is my husband. We're married. This is for real, some real shit here. We have a family. So it's been more of a, not that I'm not speaking up, but it's knowing when and how. So like you were talking about tact, that for me has been very much like, I'm not here to hurt him. I'm not here to make him feel less than or feel unappreciated, or I'm going to put him in his place para que se le quite. It's more of like, all right, honey. Yes, I hear what you're saying. Just give me a moment and shut the fuck up. Wait for find the right words. Because it's hard for me. You guys already know. It's hard for me to even find the words. I'd rather just be snappy. Like, if you, blah, 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 blah. But I was like, no, I respect this man. I want him to respect me. Just how I'm going to take the time to talk to him and find the words. I would like and appreciate for him to do the same for me. And that's been where we're at, right? So for me, it's been that completely. Because if you guys know me, I'm like, what? You want to throw down? What? You want some of this?
Yeah, we just talk. We just go for it.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, let's do this. Shank,
Yeah,
So,
well, we're from the hood, girl.
Yeah, girl. That's definitely been my thing. So I've definitely had to turn it down a little bit in that sense.
Felicidades. It's turning the leaf. It's like this level of awareness and maturity. Y tú, Cecy, your husband's personality is his personality. How have you used it to work with it?
So he's very chatty. Él me platica, habla más que yo, right? So, y yo soy más callada. So in an argument, I've tried to speak up more because before, and I'm still like, just I sit there because it takes me a while to process, and I want to answer. No quiero ser grosera. I want to be tactful también. So I want to respond. He wants me to respond when we're talking, or just, and then, for example, in an argument or something that we're not seeing eye to eye. In the past, yo nomás me quedaba callada. So in his mind, he was like, well, she doesn't care. So now I'm like, no, it takes me a while to process. So hold on, like I'm processing that, and I want to respond. Y no quiero nomás al golpe, because I don't want to come off as grosera. And then also going back to the networking, I feel like that's also helped him. He's not one that's gonna go up to like the dads or whatever and hang out or whatever. So with one of the moms, I was like, hey, let's send our husbands on a bro date or whatever. And so we exchanged their number, like we gave their numbers, and now they're like homies and they hang out, things like that.
You networked for your man. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, that worked.
I like how you labeled it networked, and I pimped him out. I love it. To the bros.
I got him. Yeah.
Not got him in an arranged marriage.
I got him on a bro date.
I love that. I've always tried to pit my man out for golf dates, and it finally worked out. And he's got this friend that really the wives were friends, me and the wife, and they're like in a league together. They get along so well. I love it. Sometimes our husbands just no les nace. That's
no les nace.
My husband's personality. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm the networker there too.
Yeah.
No quiero que se te vaya your thought. Hopefully it comes back.
If it comes back, I'll let you know.
It's so funny you said, like, you network for your husband. And, like, it's like we were driving to the kids' pictures today, and the kids are like, Archie goes, oh, mami, ¿papá es tu novio? Le go, papá es mi novio, mi esposo, mi amigo. Y me volteé a ver otro. ¿Tu best friend? Le go, ¿eres mi best friend? Oh, qué triste. We're each other's best friends? Yeah.
That's
wow.
beautiful.
It's beautiful. But then, like, damn, we got no friends, huh, baby? We got no friends no
Diego
more.
used to say that forever. He used to say, my brother's in you. I just got my brothers in you. But no, he's not my friend. He's not my friend now.
Yeah.
His personality is more of a homebody. Speaking of this question, my husband would always say, thank God for my wife, because like I would never plan anything fun or do anything. But when you guys see my man in action, he's fun. He's fun, and he's a talker. And I had a vision board night, and he wanted to play bartender. He spent like hundreds of dollars, and he wears like a bartending apron, and he made like 3 different drinks, and everyone was so wowed and impressed by him. But it almost like you have to set it up. You must serve it up on a plate. And it's his idea. He does it, but he's not going to be like, let me put this thing together. It's just not him. But when he's performing and he loves being around, y'all have seen him. Pero I have to be the one to be like, let's have it this night, or let's have it that night. Yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah, what does it cost? Let's do it. Here's the money. But then he's like a circus act when it starts. He will like enjoy people, but he's not gonna be such a networker. Though this year, that's one of his goals this year. Get it going and golf with different men and go to different places and make new friendships, and he's been working on it. One of the ways that I think I have learned to work with my husband's personality is that he is very logical. He's very analytical. He's a lot like you, Cecy, where he takes his time to formulate a thought. And I used to think like, you don't care. Like, you're just like, yeah, whatever you say, kind of, yeah, sure. And for me, it was very important that he be more vocal. Tell me at least what you're thinking. Maybe don't tell me now. You want to tell me later? You want to text me? You want to email me? Like, I was always trying to work with them. Just let me know what you're thinking. And then after a while, it was really great because he started to realize if I don't share, then you don't know what I'm thinking. You don't know. It comes across like I don't care. And he would get offended if I'd be like, you don't even care. What do you mean I don't even care? That would like offend my husband. I care so much. I'm like, well, you didn't say anything. If he wasn't very vocal, just going with the flow, happy to be there, excited. He's now much more vocal, conscious of being vocal at these meetings that we have. Like, he has family meetings. He calls family meetings with us. Like, he's chosen to be more vocal. And then I also, like, Vero, I've chosen to shut the fuck up and say less and, like, just be quiet and just, like, let things go. And I could talk enough for the both of us. Like, no thanks. I don't want to do that either. So I'm talking less. He's talking more, which is kind of cool. And we once saw this video together with this glass, these 2 glasses. This is maybe a good visual for people listening. And there was, like, a smaller glass and a larger glass. And my husband's more like the smaller glass. Like, he doesn't need a lot socially. Like, he doesn't need a lot. So he needs very little water socially. But he's happy to be there and he's happy to engage. But if he has very little water socially, he's fine. Me, I'm like a tall glass of water and I want more and exciting and energy, and probably settle down through the years, but constantly like inviting people over and doing this and doing that and traveling and family this, family that. So my glass is a lot taller. But if you're trying to put the same water in the same glasses, es un desmadre. Like, his little bit of water in my big ass glass and all of my water, trying to put it in his little glass, like, I'm going to overwhelm him. Or he's going to underwhelm me, and like, we're never going to make sense. So we're always reminding each other of like the glasses. I need a little more. I'm a little more like chatty. I'm a little more like, tell me what you're thinking. He's less. So I don't need to say so much. If I put it in a text, he's happy. If I wait till our family meeting, he's happy. You know, like he has a family meeting with me scheduled for tomorrow. And I thought like, what am I going to talk to him about? What do I have to cover with him? Okay. And I love that. Hemos cambiado. Like, I don't have anything to cover with you. I got no beef. I got no this. Like, I know that. Logistically, he's been helping me with things, which he had to lean into my personality because I used to be like on top of it, managing everything. I had to ask for help and be like, I can't manage everything. So now I tell him when I'm doing these 18 things for the family right now, which ones you want? And he'll do a few and he'll surprise me and he'll be like, I took care of that. I took care of that. So with our personalities, we've had to help each other, not overwhelm ourselves. I'll take on too much. He'll take on too little. We're trying to like balance each other out. And socially, we've really learned to balance each other out. And when we can make sense socially, it's a lot of fun. It's actually really, really great. It's really, really great. My husband's also settled down too. He used to be kind of crazy socially. Like he would like drink and disappear and drink too much and be embarrassing. And he was a hot mess. He doesn't drink like that anymore, which, you know, vices can get you. He's a different drinker. So that's good too. Maybe that's helped our personalities. That's a vice. That's a whole nother episode for a whole nother day.
Yes, girl. Yes.
Alcohol changes your man that's shy. He's no longer shy. I mean, one of my first dates with Vero, well, with Vero maybe, with Diego in Santa Barbara, like se me desapareció and he ended up in the water. You guys know that story. Regresó.
What?
He came back. He started walking. He got so intoxicated. He started walking. He walked towards the water in IV. You know, we live close to the water. He walked on the stairs. A wave hit him. He comes back to Freebirds half wet.
What?
I'm like, this guy's embarrassing. He's like, I just walked into the beach. Like, walked into the beach. I'm like,
God.
are you okay? We're all at Freebirds. And I'm like, he is embarrassing.
Oh my
The next thing, estaba tan enfermo. He was so sick because he was like, we're cool. We kept partying and he was half wet, like in wet shoes,
God.
in wet clothes. So his social side was too much when he was drinking and his personality was too much.
Go, Diego.
We've learned to settle in, guys. We've learned to settle in. A last question about personality and then our episode is over. What is one personality trait you're working on or one strength you're working on for you personally, not to do with your husband, but something you're working on that you're trying to develop in yourself? And I can also think of the answer because I know I've pinned this on you guys.
No, I'm working on it right now. I feel very all over the place right now. So, in a sense, disorganized. I always said that I'm organized chaos, but that's still chaos. You know what I'm saying? It's still chaos. So I think that it's not really working for me anymore. But I'm definitely working on that because I could be on it. I want to get all these things done, but sometimes it's just that structurally and how I set it up, it just does not let me win. So I want to do too much. You know, like today I almost said, yes, let's do this. And I was like, no, I can't commit to that. So it's definitely following the things I've been doing, meaning like if I really am not able to, I don't want to commit. And if I do commit, how do I make sure that it does get done properly? So because if something goes past or wrong, and then it affects everything else, you know what I mean? So it creates that chaos, even though there's an order to it. So I don't want that anymore. It's very frustrating. It's tiresome. I don't want to waste my energy or use my energy to fix those things. I'd rather just be like upfront, like, hey, I cannot do that, and this is why, or here's what's going on. And before I didn't consider that. And I think because my personality was very much like, let's do it. Yes, se puede hacer. And then here's Vero late again and not showing up. I would show up and it's like, great, you showed up, but it's over. Or you showed up, but it's almost done. And you showed up and it's half-assed. So it's very much like, no, let's not do that anymore. It's not fun. It's not a good feeling. I'm not 20-something anymore. There's things that have to get done. And for me, it really is hard to also do that. I mean, we were just talking about wanting to record those 4 episodes on the 31st. I'm like, maybe I can work it out. And I was like, started sweating, you guys. My heart started pumping and I started sweating. I was like, oh my God, but we planned doing this. And okay, I could probably do it. It's going to be fine. And then I was like, Vero, no, don't. Commit to the one thing you can do, and then the rest we'll figure it out after. Then you review your schedule and promote, kind of table some other dates with the girls. But it has to be like I'm constantly now being very aware and coaching myself through that because it's hard. It's so hard to do because I'm so used to just saying yes and then
I love it.
Showing up
I love it.
as a messy Vero.
No, I love it, Vero. I love it. I love it. It's boundaries. That's the tip of the day. Vero, it's like a people-pleasing thing. It's a you can do it thing. When you were 20s, you could. And we love Vero. She can do it all. But it's like a lot. It's a lot. You're going to show up and all of it's going to be kind of falling out of your hands or slipping out of the bag, figuratively, literally. Like, it's a lot, Vero. Like, so, okay, you're like, no, I love it. I love it. I love a no. I've said this before. Like, when someone can give you a no, then you can take their yes seriously. You can take their no seriously. I think it's in the Bible. I might be making that up. But I think it's
in our Bible. It's in our Bible.
It's in a Bible, I think, where Jesus says something. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna put it on this show. I'm gonna put it on the Instagram post. Something about let your yes mean yes and your no mean no. No, there's something in the Bible about that, and I'm gonna figure it out. The Bible, you can find anything you want in the Bible.
So you really want to look for it, you're gonna find it.
Yeah, you make any words. It's about a lamb or a sheep, and I'm like, there it is, guys. This lamb and this sheep.
That's a no and that's a yes.
You
okay.
You see, get it? No, I see. You just made it work. But I love it, Vero. I love like that you're saying, you know what? No, my personality is gonna have I have a hard stop, or I can only do one, or not more than I can do. I love that. I respect it so much. Y tú, Cecy. And in fact, if you gotta go, Vero, we'll keep it going because you also have a hard stop today. Pero ¿cuál es el tuyo, Cecy? The thing you're working on?
I totally feel Vero because I feel that like I'm like, oh yeah, I can do it. And then I add all these things that I on my to-do list, and then I would feel bad that I would not get to it. So I've given myself grace, like, okay, cool. If I can get done 2 of those things, cool. Si no, whatever. I think the 5-minute journal has been helping me too, because it has like 3 things. Like, today will be great if these these 3 things happen. And at the end of the day, then I look back and I'm like, did those 3 things happen? And if they didn't, I'm like, okay, at least one. Then I'm like, okay, I feel good, you know? And it's okay if the other 2 things didn't happen, because then I was busy. And then I'm like, okay, I was doing all these other things. The other thing that I'm working on, and this is, I guess, my husband also helping me with his strength and like making sure I'm good with boundaries for the most part. But sometimes like I'm just the person, like my personality being the eldest and doing, and always, I think I was so used to of just doing so many things for my parents, for my siblings. It's hard for me to, I don't know, step back, and I want to get involved, and I want to help, and I want to do this with my sister and my nephew and all these things. And so I'm always adding and volunteering and doing more than ask. Or if like, you know, one of them would call, like I jump already into it, and then now I'm like, my nephew is like, oh, okay, can you help me with, you know, X, Y, and Z? I'm like, you know what, you have to give me time. I'm at work, I'm busy at home, you have to give me time. Yes, I'll help you, but if you give me, I don't know, a week's notice, things like that. And I'm working on it because I don't know. I like to do those things. I like to take care of people. I don't know. It's just in my nature, and it's just me nace. But at the same time, I have my husband's little voice over here saying, "Chula, you need to take breaks. You have a lot on your plate. You know, you have us here. You know, spend that energy here with us."
I love that because I think it's true. Like, you want to take care of people too. Like, you want to say yes, pero también within reason. And it's good that your husband's like reminding you to do what you can. And that 5-minute journal is excellent. It's 1 page. You feel it every day. And I love that you said if you put down 3 things and 1 thing happens, it's a success. Celebrate it. Cecy always reminds us to celebrate things. I love that. And I think that it's good to start somewhere as opposed to feeling bad about yourself because you're just all over the place or taking on too much, or you want to help them and then you feel guilty. I love Level Up Latina on this work because we're like, try to do things guilt free. Like, I don't want to feel bad for not showing up ready or for being burned out because I'm showing up too much for other people, or then you're gonna let your husband down. You're there for your family, you're gonna let your husband down. Like, it's like almost like a unwinnable situation. You're gonna let your kids down. So everything within reason, everything in balance. One simple thing that I'm trying to change about my personality, and I'm really hitting the mark, I've been hitting it for the last several months. I want to be a person that for no one else but my family is a person that works out. And my kids see that. My kids see that in my husband and I. My family sees that in my family and I. And we don't have to be skinny people. We don't have to look like we're running marathons and have muscles. Our family sees us as a family that works out. And I just think that's so good. It's so healthy. It's so breaking the cycle of like not taking care of yourself. And just today, Diego and I were sharing with family. We had a family day at the park with Diego's family. I was telling him a story about this really cool chair that we got for Christmas as we do a nice expensive gift exchange that one of the family members got us. It's super comfy. We're like, yeah, we use this chair fire in the gym. And I was telling the story, Diego and I often work out in the gym, and one of the kids will pull up this big comfy chair that they got us at Costco, and they'll watch TV or they'll do homework because we have a TV in the gym while we're working out. It's like a little family affair. And I kid you guys not, like maybe 30 minutes later, Diego was telling the same story, the same exact story to someone else. Like whenever we're working out, like the kids pull up the chair. The other day, Isaiah was home for spring break, and so he puts the Laker game on, and he realized we're in the gym, so we went and put it on in the gym, and Irene's on the Peloton, and I'm on the treadmill, and he's watching the Laker game. And I had such a sense of like, I love that. Like, I work out and Diego works out, and we're working out to the point where the kids want to go hang out with us while we're working out. It's a good personality trait. And as Latinos, unfortunately, I don't feel you don't grow up with that personality trait, that it is part of your personality it's a strength. It's a personal thing to want to move your body. And it doesn't have to be excessive, guys. I will straight up be like walking, but it's a better thing to do and watch my show with Diego. I'll watch Severance walking. It's better than just on my ass eating or something, right? I love that personality trait. I love that the kids are starting to see it. My son's been running a lot on the treadmill, and he's the youngest, so of course he just thinks like this is a family that works out. Like that was not us. That was not us 10 minutes ago. So for him growing up in the last several years, since he's been in middle school, last couple of years, he's a runner, and I think he gets it from seeing that his dad works out, his mom works out. We like to work out. Cecy, I got to tap my hat to you because I feel like that's always been you and your family's personality, being the people that work out, being the people that run, being the people that are nutritious. So thank you for always setting a really good example for me. When my kids see how you guys do it, they're going to be like, Mom, you're a failure. No. I just love a little bit. I could be a little bit of you. I could take a little bit of you. And Vero, I've always got my social bone from you and my social side from you. And I hope that you're getting your saying no from me. We're all a good influence on each other. That's true. So I'm going to wrap this episode in saying that that's the most beautiful thing about strengths and personalities. You don't got to have it all. You can have weaknesses. You can have something that's repelling to your personality. Find the people in your corner that complement you. Have opposing personalities, have opposing strengths, because that's really the secret. And that will make you not feel guilty. When someone is different than you, leverage them and partner up with them. And that's the best way to, multiply all of our strengths and work together and play to them when we compensate for one another and complement one another. So that's it for today's show. We're going to run off to our other commitments for the day, one thing at a time. But if you want to keep the conversation going, email us. Our email is admin@leveluplatina.com. Our website is leveluplatina.com. And if you want to find us on Instagram or Facebook, our handle is @leveluplatina. We have our amazing collective going on right now. We're going to open up a wait list for our future collective. It's a 6-week series of goal setting. These are the kind of conversations we're having, only more in depth. Homework, share outs, action items, a live chat that's happening behind the scenes. The collective is turning out to be one of the coolest things we've done. So we'll do it again. And if you have questions about it, if you want to get on the wait list, for now, send us a little DM, but you're going to see information on that going out shortly to join our next collective, because it's an awesome group of women growing, playing to their strengths, working with each other's personalities. I love seeing us talk on WhatsApp, already being super supportive of each other, encouraging each other to grow in our strengths. And whether that's posting more on social media or networking more, or putting yourself out there for the job interview, like there's already a lot of love and strength in that group. So you'll hear more about it as we put that out there. Until then, las queremos mucho. Thanks for joining us. Happy April. It is April. Enjoy the spring.
April Fools. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
April Fools.
April Fools.
Happy
April
spring.
Fools. This episode was all a lie.
Gotcha.
All this is bullshit. We were lying the whole time.